It's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine. Let's get out of here. Aye. Hey, it's Aaron from Got a Minute. Welcome to the channel. My name is Aaron, and I'm a child of God. That's it. That's all. Whatever your name is, you are a child of God. That's it. That's all. When you receive and believe in the finished work on the cross, you become a child of God. And that's it. That's all. Your identity is not found in anything else. Your identity is found in Christ. Here's a cool little thing here. I like my numbers. I'm a number guy. I'm a pattern guy. I like to examine and investigate things. I am one of those guys that like to try and figure out the rapture. I have no clue when it is. I'll never know when it is. I just show you the patterns that I see. So we're on the theme of Exodus 24, Genesis 24, in the videos past, so go check it out. But essentially, we had a marriage. We had Isaac and Rebecca. I know my drawings are amazing. I know. They're just incredible. I had a speech. I got to thank my mom. Anyway, I'm just joking around. Okay, Genesis 24, Isaac marries Rebecca. We got a marriage. 2 chapters before that, it was Abraham and Isaac. And Isaac was a type of Christ. So this is a type of Christ. Rebecca is a type of us who accept the proposal. She says, I will go. And that's the nutshell there. So we have a marriage in Genesis 24. And we have a heavenly scene room in Exodus 24. And tomorrow's video, the next video, we'll talk about Leviticus 24. And the 7 churches represented there. Very, very fun. We got a nice theme, but we're going to stick on Exodus 24 this time around and explain something that is so easily missed. Man, I missed this the first time. So we've got Exodus 24, and we're going to use Ezekiel chapter 1 to show you what we got here, and some chapters and verses in the book of Revelation. So what we have here is Exodus 24, we got Moses, we got Aaron, we got Nadab and Abihu. These are the guys that, and the 70 elders that went up the mountain with God. And essentially in Exodus 24, Moses sprinkles them with blood, and then he goes up the mountain with these guys, with these characters. And then here's the crazy stuff, okay? This is the fascinating thing. And they saw God of Israel. They saw the God of Israel in Exodus 24, verse 10. They saw the God of Israel in Genesis 24. Wow. Okay, well, show me some details. And there was under his feet, as it were, a paved work of sapphire stone. And it was like the very heavens in its clarity. Whoa. Okay, so that's why I drew this. It's like the very heavens in its clarity. If you look at some sapphire stones, a lot of them are blue. And so it's like, you kind of have to use your imagination, but sapphire could represent this blue division. You know how it says that in the firmament he divided things? So it's as if that's the foundation, a big blue crystal clear glass line, and that's the foundation. Okay, so under his feet, under the God of Israel's feet, was sapphire. But on the nobles of the children of Israel, he did not lay his hand, so they saw God, and they ate and drank. Then the Lord said to Moses, come up to me on the mountain and be there, and I will give you the tablets of stone. So wait a second, go back to verse 11. So they saw God, and they ate and drank. It's like a wedding. It's like a feast. They ate and drank with God. They saw God and ate and drank. What? This is like a heavenly scene room here. So I got some notes here. Sorry for this horrible scribble here, but I'll just put it here so you can reference it later. So we've got this connection with come up to me. It says that in Ezekiel 24. We see a voice in Ezekiel chapter 1. Now, chapter 1 is in Ezekiel. We know that right away in Ezekiel it says that this is a vision, that the heavens were opened and I saw visions of God. Okay, so that's chapter 1. So in chapter 1, verse 25, it says a voice came from above the firmament. Okay, so this is like a description of the heavenly scene room. This, Ezekiel chapter 1, is a further description of the heavenly scene room. So in Exodus 24, we have God saying, come up to me, in verse 12. Come up to me, in verse 12. And in Ezekiel, we have a voice in verse 25. A voice came from above the firmament. Okay, now in Revelation, what do we have? In Revelation 4, verse 1, we have a voice. It says, I'll read the whole verse of chapter 1. I'll get this out of the way. After these things I looked, and behold, a door standing open. Whoa, in heaven. And the first voice which I heard was like a trumpet speaking with me, saying, Come up here, and I will show you things which must take place after this. So both Exodus 24 and Ezekiel chapter 1 and Revelation 4 both have voices in commanding us to come. The next connection that we have with these things is Exodus 24 verse 10. We have a sapphire stone in Exodus 24 verse 10. A sapphire stone, and it's blue in nature. It looks like a crystal, and that was the foundation. Well, Ezekiel chapter 1 verse 26 has that very same word. And above the firmament over their heads was the likeness of a throne, and an appearance like a sapphire stone. So we're seeing a heavenly scene here with the sapphire stone. And if we go over to, we could even read over here in 122 before we get out of here, is the likeness of the firmament above the heads of the living creatures was like the color of an awesome crystal stretched out over their heads. So that connects us to Revelation 4:6. When they're in the heavenly throne room, what do they see? They see before the throne was a sea of glass, like crystal. Could that be sapphire? I lean to think that he's probably seeing the same thing in Ezekiel and in Exodus 24. They're seeing a heavenly scene room through the idea of sapphire looking like crystal. And we also have a sea of glass in Revelation 15 verse 2 when they sing the song of Moses. But Exodus 24 is about Moses. So, and I saw something like a sea of glass mingled with fire. And those who have the victory over the beast, over the image, or over his image, and over the mark, and over the number of his name, standing on the sea of glass, having harps of God. So there's your sapphire connection. Again, going back to the picture, there's a sapphire connection in Exodus 24. It seems like the heavenly scene room has sapphire in it. And we have sapphire in Ezekiel as well. The other connection that connected all these chapters together was the term fire. Exodus 24 verse 17, the sight of the glory of the Lord was like a consuming fire on the top of the mountains and in the eyes of the children of Israel. Where are the fire verses in Ezekiel? It's Ezekiel 1 verse 4. Then I looked, and behold, a whirlwind was coming out of the north, and a great cloud raging fire. You can see the red there. And then you also have it in verse 13. As for the likeness of the living creatures, their appearance was like burning coals of fire. Okay, and then we've got also 127. Also, from the appearance of his waist and upward, I saw, as it were, the color of amber with the appearance of fire all around within it. And from the appearance of his waist and downward, I saw, as it were, the appearance of fire with brightness all around. And then we also have fire in Revelation. Well, what happens, though? We're in the throne room, and we're dealing with the sapphire stone, but what comes before it? In verse, verse 5, and from the throne proceeded lightning, thunderings, and voices. 7 lamps of fire were burning before the throne, which are the 7 spirits of God. Wow, that's perfect. And then we got fire over here with the sea of glass, 15 verse 2. I just read it. Fire right here in 15 verse 2. And then finally, the last connection, the fourth connection that we see is, and the most important one, is Ezekiel 24. We see the blood. And Moses took half the blood and put it in the basins, and half the blood he sprinkled on the altar. Then he took the book of the covenant and read it in the hearing of the people, and they said, all that the Lord has said we will do, and be obedient. And Moses took the blood, sprinkled it on the people, and said, this is the blood of the covenant, which the Lord has made with you according to all the words. And of course, if we go back to Revelation 1 verse 5, and it says, and from Jesus Christ, the faithful witness, the firstborn from the dead, the ruler over the kings of the earth, to him who loved us and washed us from our sins in his own blood. One more verse with the blood, 5 verse 9. It says, you are worthy to take the scroll and to open its seals, for you were slain and have redeemed us to God by your blood. So what we have here is this. We have a connection with Exodus 24 in the heavenly scene room. We have a come up here in Exodus 24. We have a come up here in Revelation 4 verse 1, which is John going to the heavenly scene room. We are in 2024. Okay, we got a Genesis 24, we got a marriage. Exodus 24, we got a heavenly scene room. In Leviticus 24, we got a representation of the churches in the heavenly scene room with Christ. We'll talk about that in the next video. But again, just repeating what I just said is, we have a voice, we have a connection of the sapphire in the heavenly scene room in Exodus 24 and Revelation. We have a connection with fire in Exodus 24 and Ezekiel, the throne room, and Revelation, the throne room. And we have a connection with blood. The only way that we can enter the heavenly scene room is through the blood of Christ. And what Moses does is he sprinkles the blood on the altar and the blood on the people. And it was only after they were sprinkled with the blood that they were able to go to the heavenly scene room. So the big thing is God showing us the pattern in the chapters of 24. I think this is really cool. We have a heavenly scene room in 24. We got a marriage in 24. And we got the lampstands, which represent the churches, the 7 churches in Leviticus 24. So that'll be the next video. I pray you enter into a relationship with Jesus Christ very soon, because this ship might be sailing sooner than you think. One day closer. Go, Jesus, go.
Hallelujah, I'll see you in the rapture.